I do think that storytelling and being able to convey an idea forward would be very beneficial for the Fulton
Yeah,
County ADA's office.
yeah,
Take up Toastmasters for crying out loud,
yeah,
or
yeah,
join a I made a joke and people thought I was being ridiculous. I said, Adrian Love should learn stand-up comedy.
yeah,
And the reason I say that is because you're learning how to improvise on
yeah.
the spot and think on your feet. She clearly cannot do that. So I'm a former classroom teacher. So
Okay.
I can fully tell you what it's like to lay out a game plan and come in at 7:02. Little Johnny comes in and regurgitates his whole breakfast all over the classroom. Man, the whole day goes south.
Yeah,
So you have to think quickly and be able to move differently. And
yeah.
so Adrian Love doesn't know how to do that. In my observation, she doesn't know how
I
to
mean,
do that.
that could be. I mean, I was an adjunct professor for 10 years. Um,
And he got bored.
I love teaching. I love teaching. It's one of the reasons I go on these shows. It's one of the reasons, honestly, that I answer all these questions. I love to
Yeah.
let people know about the law and answer whatever questions they have about the law, as long as I can do that and stay within my professional responsibilities and ethics and not damage my client. I'm more than happy to do it. I love it. Um, and it's absolutely true. You have to be able to improvise. You have to be able to respond to questions from the class,
Yeah.
questions from your students. Things can go a totally different way than you plan to teach a class lesson.
Mhm.
And you need to be able to, as you know, I'm not telling you anything new,
No.
but when that happens, if you see an opening in class where you can go a different way and educate your students, then that's how you have to go. And I've done a little improv in the past, not recently. Um, and you do have to be able to improvise. And what you say about storytelling, it's all about storytelling.
Right.
Just I don't want to go on too long a monologue, but when I was doing a lot of patent litigation, there was always a debate because
Mhm.
a lot of patent litigators are engineers and scientists like I am.
Mhm.
But you also have patent litigators that don't just litigate patents, they litigate kind of everything. They're professional trial attorneys, right?
Got you.
So
Okay.
there's always a debate in a patent case. Do I put my engineer patent litigator out there at trial? Okay.
Okay.
Or do I bring in someone else at the end for trial? Someone who just does trials, like that's all they do is trials. Um, and so at my old firm, we had people that we brought in, no engineering background, no science background, but
Mhm.
we bring them in for trial to maybe lead the trial because most of those jurors don't have an engineering or science background. And that trial attorney, because he's a trial attorney, knows how to tell a story, knows
Okay.
how to explain things in terms that a jury can understand. And that is so, so important. I try to keep that in mind.
No, I like it. No, I agree with you 100%. So, Mr. Weinstein,
Sir.
what would it take for the defense to request bail for the defendants again? And why do you think these men are being held without bond while others charged with RICOs in Georgia have been released?
So I've been told never to say this, but I'm going to say it
Oh,
anyway.
wait, hold on.
Here I go.
Just
You
between
ready?
me and you, it's just me and you.
You
Just
know, just us. So the part I can say that I haven't been told to not say in Georgia, we have these things called the IALA factors, and they are the factors that a court is supposed to look at when deciding whether someone should get bond.
okay.
And those factors are the following: is this defendant a risk of flight? In other words, is he going to return to court? Okay.
Mhm.
Two, is this defendant a danger to reoffend? Might they go out and commit offenses? Um, is this defendant a danger to the community in general? Is this defendant a threat to intimidate witnesses? That is all that the court is supposed to consider. They're not supposed to consider really, except in the context of those four questions, what the charges are, recitations of the facts of the case, here's
Okay.
the horrible thing that they're alleged to have done. Those really, except to the degree they play and aren't supposed to go, you aren't supposed to go there. So
Right.
some
Right.
judges, there's a judge in DeKalb County, Judge Lake. He'll say, I don't want to hear anything other than the IALA factors. You guys just come in here and argue the IALA factors, and then I'll decide on bond. So after doing criminal law for about 3 years now, what I've decided after doing so many bond hearings is in, I would say, 50 to 70% of the cases I work on, I don't really have a good feel for whether a judge is going to grant bond or not. I
Right.
know the factors, but the granting of bond varies by county and it
Okay.
varies by judge.
Okay.
So I can tell you, hey, for these offenses in Fulton County, I think you're probably going to get a bond. But for those same offenses in
Cobb.
rural county, no, let's go
Oh,
rural.
rural. Okay. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
I mean, if I'm down in Waycross or Brunswick, I don't know if you're going to get a bond there.
Yeah.
So it's a shame that they're not uniformly
Yeah.
applied across counties or even across judges within a county. Because if anything, the law should be uniformly applied.